Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you, as you know, is Stephen Twitch Boss. Now, I did a video on him yesterday, and I went into the direction of could his white spouse, or can a white spouse understand black pain and suffering? And I told you that I would bring you another video because what I wanted to touch on is the reason why so many people are saying that things are not adding up, how they seem very suspicious. And I'm going to point out some glaring things that are just kind of makes you go, that this is not mathing at all. That there's just a lot of missing pieces and the puzzles it just doesn't fit. Here he is with his wife. And we're going to start from when he reportedly left his Encino home. This is the home right here in Encino, California. And when he got to the hotel he was staying at, or rather motel. So this was reportedly like 14 minutes away from where he lives. And I'm hearing conflicting reports. Some reports say that he took an Uber there. Other reports stating that he walked there. That is, again, 14 minutes from where he lives. So I want to show you a time frame. And you're going to see that something is just extremely off about this. But let's start here. There was no argument, wife of Stephen Twitch Boss tells cops. They did not fight before. I guess before he left? Okay, you did not fight before he left. But did you have a fight 2 days or 3 days before he left? So she specifically states that they did not fight before he left. So was there a fight prior to him leaving, like maybe 2 or 3 days before? A week before? Let's move on. Now we're getting into the time frame of things. DailyMail.com previously revealed that Boss checked into room 249 at the Oak Tree Inn in Encino at around 10:30 a.m. on Monday and was found deceased in the room's bathroom the following day when he failed to check out. Okay, so if the wife was so concerned about him missing, why didn't she report this to the police on Monday? Now, reportedly, I want you to see this. He checked in at 10:30 a.m. on Monday. So she had until 12 noon. She had until 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 11 p.m. All that time goes by. You couldn't contact him then on the phone, reportedly. So why didn't you call the cops then? Why didn't you go to the police station then? Why wait a day later? That's kind of off right there. Now, police accompany Holker to the family home above, the home that I showed you, for a brief search of any clues about his disappearance. But he was found deceased at a nearby hotel room after. Here's another strange thing. When a loved one goes missing, isn't it a natural response? And if their vehicle is there, aren't you going to go looking around for them in a car? Aren't you going to go driving around? I would think that you would have made just your own personal search. I would have before I contacted the police. Because I know how police can be weaponized in America against black men. An encounter for a black man to have with a police officer can end deadly. So I'm just wondering, why didn't she do a welfare search of her own? Okay, boss had caught ahead at around 9:20 a.m. on Monday to check to see if rooms were available. Then walked. Okay, there's something that he walked to the few blocks from his home. Rokesh said, I guess that's the hotel owner or manager, seemed completely normal and calm. So I'm hearing two reports. So one said he took an Uber, other said he walked. So we're going to go with walked right here, so we won't add any more confusion. So basically, he left again. It said he left on Monday. So she had all day to contact the police, but wait until the next day, the following day. That's very strange. If I couldn't contact someone for 24 hours, I'm going to wait. Huh. Let's move on right here. Okay, it says here. They said he used his own name to check into the motel on Monday. See, he got there on a Monday and was not discovered until Tuesday morning. By the way, none of the staff, none of the guests heard a gunshot. They heard nothing. And I use firearms, and I can tell you they are very loud. Even at 22, you would still hear something. So that's a little odd right there. Boss's wife of 9 years, Allison Holker, contacted Los Angeles police on Tuesday to report him missing. So she contacted them on Tuesday. So apparently she did not contact them on Monday, else it would have been here. It would have stated that, well, she contacted us on Monday and we told her to wait 24 hours, 32 hours. No, she contacted them on Tuesday to report him missing, saying he had left without a word a day earlier and wasn't returning her calls, TMZ reported. So again, it goes back to, why didn't you contact them on Monday? Why wait a whole day? If you checked in at around 10:20, you had all that time to contact law enforcement, but you didn't. By the way, people, I want to bring something to your attention. Did you think that if this was reversed, if this was the white female who was ended in her hotel room and the black spouse was still alive, do you think they would have opened and shut their investigation within 24 hours? I find that very strange, that it was open and closed within 24 hours. And I find it strange, too, that the wife is so willing to accept the deletion. I can't say this S word. Well, you know the S word, the deletion, the deletion angle. It seemed that a spouse would want a full investigation, because if she's saying that there was nothing wrong and there was no arguments, no fights, that he was okay, and I would think that she would be very suspicious and would think that, well, maybe it was something else. Maybe he wasn't the one who brought about his own demise. It just seems that she just kind of killed over very fast and just went along with the deletion theory. Now, as I pointed out to you earlier, Stephen did a video the day before speaking about police brutality and how blacks are often the victims of these racist cops. And he spoke about injustices and wanting to get justice for this, wanting to fix the problem, to remedy the situation. And he talked about how whites came into the comment section asking, well, Stephen, why are you bringing this up? What about a 5-year-old boy? You're dividing us. And Stephen was showed a lot of sympathy and empathy towards what black people are going through. So my thing would be this here. You're leaving behind biracial children who will be looked upon as being black in America. Why not stick around to make life easier and better, more just, and more fair for them. Why would you delete yourself when you spoke about police brutality and the injustices that blacks often face? You pretty much just did your detractors or the racist a favor. You pretty much, handed them your life on a silver platter. They didn't have to do anything. According to what your wife wants us to believe, you took yourself out. Why give them that satisfaction when you had such a big platform to use and to make change? And this goes to leaving behind a loving grandfather who you adored, the immense pain that he's going to feel, that your mother's going to feel, a child going before her. This does not make sense. Something about this is off by a mile. And I'm not really buying this whole deletion theory. It wouldn't surprise me, people, if this marriage was not as happy as they made it seem. I know they went on talk shows. One of the last together was the Jennifer Hudson show. But a lot of times people put up a good front because that's their image together. He had an image as a wholesome, fun-loving family man who loved to dance. And that's pretty much what would have gotten him work. That particular angle that he's promoting. Remember Tiger Woods? They were promoting this wholesome family guy with a wife. It turns out that he was his biggest cheater, a serial cheater. I'm not saying this is what Boss was doing. I'm just trying to just show you something there. The strange contrast that somehow people live. But here's the man here who's going to leave behind a lot of pain and suffering, who spoke about police brutality, about people's lives being ended, but yet supposedly he is going to just end his and leave a trail of pain behind. Something about that is not mathing at all. And I'm not really buying this particular angle. Remember her? This was the cop right here who deleted Dante Wright. And do you remember that she wouldn't, she used a taser. Well, she used her gun. She used her gun, but on the videotape, she was shouting, "Taser, taser, taser." Remember that? It's almost like she's using it as a cover. I want you to hear this for yourself.
Just stay back.
Oh, I need you! Hey, Jesus, please stop! Please stop!
You dead?
Yes!
Okay.
I grabbed the wrong fucking gun! I shot him! Oh my God!
Kim, sit down.
PI access 63rd and Captain Drive, flight from 38 stop, start north on the red.
Starting north on the red, then can you repeat your first 30 seconds?
Okay, so you heard that. It's almost like she was announcing a taser so she can have an excuse, so she can have an alibi. Now, Stephen's wife reportedly went into the LAPD a day later on Tuesday, very upset, very hysterical, announcing that her husband had disappeared, that he cannot be found, and he's not answering his phone. Okay, so let me ask you this. Your first stop is going to be a police station because your husband's missing, and you stated before too that this was very out of character, very rare for him to do this. So I guess he's done it a few times before. But was the police notified then? Those few times that he did that before, did she notify the police then? And people, in a mystery, a mystery like this, you have to look at the spouse. I always thought the spouse was the number one suspect, according to law enforcement. And you have to look at, you got to look at her life insurance policy, was there one made? You got to go down all those very uncomfortable angles. And she should welcome that. If she has nothing to hide, she would welcome that. Right here's a picture of Lana Turner and her former lover, Johnny Stathanopoulos. Remember what happened in the 1950s? And here we are nearly like 60 years later. And remember what happened to Natalie Wood on the Splendor with Robert Wagner 40 years ago? Well, Stephen's case is going to be like this. I'm going to predict. It's going to be one of those mysteries that we will never know the truth. We will never get at the bottom of it. It's just going to be hanging in the air like many mysteries in Hollywood. But I will make a prediction. When this dies down, let's say a couple of years from now, don't be surprised if you start hearing books coming out then. You start hearing stories about the marriage was not as they seemed, that they were not as happy as they portrayed. Don't be surprised if you may hear a thing about someone having an affair, a side piece over here or there, or you may even hear about someone struggling with their sexuality. Don't be surprised if you hear news like that within a couple of years, because this tends to come out later on. Things would die down, they would die off, and then slowly but surely, like an onion being peeled, the truth will come out. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.